Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I am Bhavita Gopal-Chan. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news at this time. After 17 years of leading the judiciary, Chief Justice Ivor Archie has announced that he will retire during this law term. He revealed this during what would now be his final speech at the ceremonial opening of the 2025-2026 law term this morning. Archie said when he became Chief Justice in 2008, the retirement age was 65, and that is what he prepared for. The mandatory age is now 70 years. However, he admitted that in the last 2 years, he has seen his life's journey with greater clarity, and while being Chief Justice is what he does, it is not who he is. He also believes that it is time for fresh ideas for the judiciary and is passing on the baton.
I have decided to retire, not resign, retire, at a time of my own choosing, and not to wait until I reach the age of 70. There will always be unfinished business, no matter when I leave, but I have decided to retire during this term.
Archie also praised several others within the fraternity who will be retiring soon. Now to this, as the fallout continues from yesterday's military strike on a Venezuelan fishing vessel that killed 3 people. One U.S. lawmaker is attempting to stop the extrajudicial killings. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the strike on social media on Monday, calling the victims narco-terrorists and justify the action as a necessary measure to stop the flow of illegal narcotics. But in a video posted to X on Monday night, Democratic Senator Adam Schiff reiterated that Trump does not have the legal authority to approve strikes on boats in international waters. Schiff, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, says he is drafting a resolution to reclaim Congress's power to declare war, and he's calling for bipartisan support.
It is our power to declare war or authorize the use of force or to refuse to do so, and these lawless killings are just putting us at risk, because it means other countries now may decide to blow an American ship out of the water and claim that it was engaged in drug trafficking. I don't want to see us get into some war with Venezuela because the president is just blowing ships willy-nilly out of the water.
Well, the last time Congress approved a formal declaration of war was during World War II. Former National Security Minister Gary Griffith is calling for cooler heads to prevail between this country and Venezuela. On the Morning Brew program today, Griffith said the country should not insert itself in ongoing tensions between the United States and Venezuela, as the U.S. continues its attack on what it calls narco-terrorism, supposedly supported by the Venezuelan government. Griffith said the language between the neighboring countries should be civil.
So before people point fingers at our own government, Venezuela needs to get their act together. Referring to our prime minister as a drunkard, referring to her as a mad person. All of these things, it is not necessary. Everybody needs to calm down, take a deep breath, and let us focus more on dialogue, statesmanship, and diplomacy.
Griffith adds that this country is incapable of fighting off attacks from Venezuela and should keep that in mind when comments are made. He adds that whatever tension there is between the U.S. and Venezuela should remain between the two countries.
You'll hear the comments. Is it the next line are we going to hear is that they're going to claim weapons of mass destruction and so forth? Not our business. This is a matter between Venezuela and the United States. When elephants fight, sometimes only the grass is trampled. We need to tread carefully on this, not to jump into a fight and next thing the United States pulls out from the Southern Caribbean because it's hundreds of millions per month that the U.S. is paying to have these vessels so far down.
Griffith added that there has been bad blood between this country and Venezuela that other Caribbean countries did not endorse, so the current stance with the Prime Minister is not out of the blue. He referenced Venezuela's Guardia Nacional harassing local fishermen in our territorial waters. This, he said, ended in 2014 when both countries signed a bilateral agreement. On to some other news now. 22-year-old Anton Philip of Dabity, the police officer involved in the shooting death of Constable Jamal Charles, has been charged for manslaughter. The charges were announced as Charles is being laid to rest with partial military send-off. Charles was shot in the neck while at the guard booth at Kent House, which is the local government head office. Police reports suggested that officers had been playing with a gun when someone pulled the trigger. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Do you also find putting on shoes awkward? Do it like me. Put them on easily without using your hands. It's like an invisible shoehorn helping you step right into the shoe. You don't even have to bend down. Just slide your foot in and you're done. Try it. Skechers Slip. Hands free.
Introducing CTS College's Early Learners Academy, our physical school with a nursery, daycare, and preschool. With qualified and experienced staff, modern classrooms, and the latest teaching methods and technology, your child would get the personal care and education they deserve. Activities include potty training, storytelling, phonics, craft, academics, and field trips. Enroll your child today at CTS College's Early Learners Academy.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Tile Depot Limited has done it again. Brand new stocks just arrived. 12 by 12, $750. 17 by 17, $1150. 18 by 18, $1195. 20 by 20, $15.95, and 22 by 22, just $20. Visit Tile Depot Limited today at Bagnett Trace Church Village, Chaguanas. Call 234-4402.
Welcome back in sport. Trinidad and Tobago quarter-miler Dream Richards qualified for the final of the men's 400 meters on Thursday, when he finished third in the semi-finals this morning. Running out of lane 6 in the second semi-final, Richards clocked a season best of 44.12 seconds behind Busang Kebenashipi of Botswana and Rasheen McDonald of Jamaica. We taking the race around the 200-meter bend. Well, his time of 44.12 seconds is not only the fastest non-automatic qualifier, but the third fastest in the semi-final. Antigua and Barbuda Falcons coach Paul Nixon is confident of a good showing against Trinbago Knight Riders in the eliminator this evening. Speaking ahead of the match in Providence, Nixon said his team is ready to do battle for a place in the second qualifier.
Well, the Falcons, we're ready for the game. We've practiced well, we've prepared well. Good momentum moving forwards. TKR has got some big players. At the moment, they've just been struggling to win games and get over the line. So that's a positive for us.
Central FC face a must-win clash tonight when they host the Dominican Republic's Mocha FC in a CONCACAF Caribbean Cup Group A encounter at the Hazley Crawford Stadium from 8 p.m. With just 1 point from 2 matches, Central must climb the table to stay in contention for the semi-finals. Under the guidance of former assistant coach Julius Edwards, who takes over from Randall Boyce, says discipline and focus will be key, while player Ross Russell Jr. adds the squad's experience as well as national team ambitions, a driving motivation. Mocha FC also needs points after opening with a 2-0 loss to Mount Pleasant. That's it for sport. It's back to a break.
Built to Last has a massive sale on roofing materials, including standing seam. Invest in durable roofing sheets at unbeatable prices. Choose our supply and installation package and enjoy huge savings on your roof. Quality materials, quality prices, quality workmanship. Our name says it all. Built to Last, for roofing that is built to last. We will not be beaten on price. Enjoy free delivery and free roll forming on standing seam and guttering on site. Call us now, 355-7703.
If you could see what the future holds, you'd see that while things change, you've still got it. You are strong, resilient, inspiring. And you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it. Because you were made for more. Discover how Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way help you age vibrantly.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
Tile Depot Limited has done it again. Brand new stocks just arrived. 12 by 12, $7.50. 17 by 17, $11.50. 18 by 18, $11.95. 20 by 20, $15.95. And 22 by 22, just $20. Visit Tile Depot Limited today at Bagney Trace Church Village, Chaguanas. Call 234-4402.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Four CARICOM nations have been flagged by the United States President Donald Trump in his latest drug report to Congress. The Bahamas, Belize, Haiti, and Jamaica are now listed as major drug transit or producing countries for fiscal year 2026. Trump said placement on the list does not necessarily reflect poor cooperation, but rather the geographic and economic factors that make drug trafficking possible. Other countries named include Mexico, Colombia, and Venezuela. Trump warned nations failing to act could face serious consequences amid rising U.S. opioid deaths. No reason was given for the CARICOM countries' inclusion. It's now time to join Jean-Marc Rampersad for the weather forecast.
We had a hot and sunny start to the morning in most areas, but showers began moving in from the east over both islands, with some becoming heavy at times. Those showers then spread across other areas, giving us some partly cloudy conditions. For the remainder of the day, we can expect these isolated passing showers to continue, with the medium chance of an isolated afternoon thunderstorm over the western half of Trinidad. Conditions should be less intense than yesterday though, but street flooding is still possible. Looking ahead, there is a tropical wave in the central Atlantic, which is being monitored by our local Met Office and the U.S. National Hurricane Center, as it has a high chance of cyclone formation this week. It's expected to track northwest, away from the Lesser Antilles, but will still indirectly influence our weather later this week.
Well, thank you for joining us for a look at the day's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more coming up for you in a Midday Newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great day.